and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you're funny face.
It's not my brother.
I don't know him. You don't know funny face.
It's not my brother.
You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Wabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Continue thriving and obviously achieve higher, and everybody knows that even though I'm not working with them again, but my personal relationship with the owner and many of the management and the staff, it is where my heart is. So I wish them very well, but I'm sure that even without wishes they will still do very well.
back again, Charlie. I miss you all. Thank you so much for the love and support. If you are joining my YouTube channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share and share and share and share and share. So Laurie Lawson and I decided a place to camp for a night, and we decided to drive to the central region of Ghana. Guys, when I say red road, Laurie, tell them, when we say red road, this is what a typical red road looks like. But one thing about this kind of roads is that it gives you the best views, and so you can be assured of like where you are going. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. So yeah, you guys are coming along with us, right? Yeah. Let's go. After 2 hours drive from Accra, we got to our destination, which is the Tills Beach Resort. Come on, let's go. Let's have some fun. Comfort is going to show us one of the rooms. If you come here and you decide to spend a night in their rooms, I mean, this is one option. So most of the buildings here are old school. They're old school. Do you agree?
You know, they are still working around it.
Yeah, but I can see a lot of construction going on, and the manager says that in the next few months when we come, their beach house would be ready for tourists and for us. And so yeah, you get to see other places. So we're going to see another room just in case you decide to opt for spending the night here.
Oh, we're going to check the chalet
out. Yeah, so this is how this is how the chalet looks like. So let's check their chalet. Comes with a very cute bathroom. So this space is $550. That's about $91. So yeah, that's how much it costs. You can't come to the beach and not soak some sea water on your skin, and so I'm here to just chill, enjoy the breeze. Come along, Larry. It's been so fun. The water is so cold because today we don't really have a good weather. So yeah, let's go. The weather is so cold, eh? It's so cold here. Lori says she's fine, but I don't know why I'm so cold. I don't know whether it's because I entered into the water. It's so cold. So this is my tent, my backpack, and of course this is the pumping device to pump the bed. Yeah. So Kenneth is helping us pumping our bed because it requires a lot of strength. Our bed is ready with a beautiful view. It's gonna be a good night, good night, good night. In order to protect our tent, we need to lock it. So he's helping us fix it. Yeah. So that the wind doesn't carry it away. Good. Yeah. And our bed is also ready. Let's put it in. We should put it in. Okay, so this is how the tent looks like. The good part is, in fact, we bought the bigger one that can take 2 people. So, I mean, I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to just take a shower, eat. My lunch is ready. Take a look at this. So, banku for Lori, and I'm having rice and soup. So this is my lunch. I have fish soup, rice, and banku. Banku girl. Yeah. The soup was really, really good. It's very spicy. Sorry, what about your own? The tilapia too is very good. Their pepper is very hot. So if you don't have an African stomach like us, my dear, please tell them you want your pepper mild. That's how I like it. That's how you like it. But it's nice, very, very nice. So guys, I'm so cold. I requested for tea.
A bonfire night was organized for campers and guests at the Tills Beach Resort. To camp at the Tills Beach Resort, it costs us 50 cedis per person, but you have to come with your own camping equipment.
Good morning, everyone. So my night was very cool, very relaxing. The only thing is our tent was too small to occupy 2 people. So I think I did a mistake by buying this tent. We thought it was for 2 people, but it looks like it's for 1.5. 1.5 means an adult and a child, because we are 2 tall people and the tent is not big enough, and so that was a problem. It was not too, we're not too free, even though we slept well. Okay, I slept well. And then also, for somebody who is not used to hearing noise in the night, this will also be a problem, because the sound of the waves keeps ringing. Like, did I say keeps ringing? Like, you hear the sound of the waves in the night. So I kept waking up. I'm like, because I'm not used to like noise at night. But it was so relaxing, so airy. The weather was so cold. Thank God for blankets. I was good. And oh, it was a good night. Apart from that, I totally enjoyed my night. Laurie, come. How was your night? You have what? Headache. Oh, why? You didn't sleep well?
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. But I mean, it's refreshing waking up to the sound of the waves, to the beautiful atmosphere, and yeah, at least once in a lifetime, you should try it. I think it was worth it. Yeah. So this is the public washroom if you are camping, and this is the public shower. So this is where I took my bath yesterday, and this is my view this morning. Good morning. Brings us to the end of this video. It has been such a night. Laurie, what do you think about the place? So let's talk about our stay here.
Hi guys.
I think because of the sea, we are all messed up.
Yeah. The place is such a relaxing place. I like their food.
Yeah, their food is good. Yeah.
I think people like it because of their food and the relaxing nature of it as well.
The only thing I didn't like is the service here. The service is not the best here.
You know, it's Ghanaian nature. Some places you go, it's as if they are working there, like you are doing them a favor and all that. So for that, you can't really do nothing about it.
Yeah.
You get it. They need it, but the other sense, they are also like.
What
Ghana. It's Ghana.
It means, do you understand? So yeah, do well to subscribe to
Laurie Lawson. Kindly subscribe to my channel for amazing content. Okay, I'll be expecting you.
Until next time on my YouTube channel. Guys, if you have not subscribed to her, what are you waiting for? Please head to her channel now, Laurie Lawson. She's doing amazing travel, lifestyle, festivals.
Oh yes, I have a second channel basically for culture. You know, everywhere I find myself, be it their food, be it their culture. Yes, I'm putting it right there, and it's called Diverse diverse culture with them. Sorry, I'm tired.
So guys, it's about time. I will leave
Yes,
I will leave her details in the link below. Catch you guys until next time on my YouTube channel.
Wir freuen uns sehr über die Anwesenheit und auf das Grußwort des Staatspräsidenten der Republik Ghana und begrüßen seine Exzellenz Nana Akufo-Addo. Herzlich willkommen, Herr Präsident.
I'm grateful to the Minister President of the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Herr Amin Laschet, for the invitation to visit this famous state once again, and also for the opportunity to deliver these brief remarks on this memorable occasion. I extend the best wishes of the governments and peoples of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, whose authority I have the honor to be current chair, to the people of North Rhine-Westphalia as you celebrate this important milestone, and convey our deep sympathies on the recent tragedy that has befallen you. For myself, I'm blessed to have been present on this occasion to listen to the wonderful music we have heard this evening. Thank you. There are many residents, many of whom are still alive today, who saw at first hand the events that led to Operation Marriage. They would have seen for themselves the destruction of their homes and businesses because of World War II. I'm certain many moved on in search of greener pastures elsewhere, and I'm equally certain that many more stayed to help in the rebuilding efforts that followed on from 1946. The founding residents of this state will be proud of the transformation that has taken place here since those difficult, dramatic days. Today, North Rhine-Westphalia is not only the most populous state in Germany, but it is also her greatest industrial region, and has consistently for several decades been one of Europe's most important economic centers. These laudable accolades did not happen by chance. It took creativity, determination, enterprise, hard work, and innovation. And credit for this goes to successive generations of North Rhine-Westphalians and their leaders. We in Ghana are drawing inspiration from the success stories of North Rhine-Westphalia and Germany, because likewise, we want to build a progressive and prosperous country. There's an often cited African proverb which says, and I quote, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." We have resolved to work hand in hand with North Rhine-Westphalia and Germany because we desire to walk far, especially as we share common attachments to the common values of respect for individual liberties and human rights, of respect for the rule of law, and of respect for the principles of democratic accountability. Embarking on such a journey means we are having to accelerate the process of changing the structure of the Ghanaian economy, which will enable us to participate fully in the global marketplace, not on the basis of exports of raw materials, but on the basis of the exports of things we make. With Germany being a major exporter of industrial products and technology, with North Rhine-Westphalia being in the lead, Ghana's relations with Germany are of utmost importance and must be hinged on this. The recent establishment of a Volkswagen assembly plant in Accra is a welcome development, and we are encouraged by the fact that more and more German companies have expressed their willingness to set up shop in Ghana. We want to renew and deepen our relations with Germany, with North Rhine-Westphalia at her center, to our mutual advantage. We do want to, and we shall work to take Ghana to where she deserves to be, a prosperous and dynamic member of the world community, which is neither victim nor pawn of the world order. Ghana is doing her part in leading the march for the development of Africa. It is an exciting time for us, and we welcome residents and enterprises of North Rhine-Westphalia, and indeed of Germany as a whole, to join us to achieve this goal. I wish you in North Rhine-Westphalia a happy 75th anniversary and the best of luck in the next 75 years. Vielen Dank. Thank you.
I compared the partnership between Ghana and Germany with a marriage. Seeing the interest and the commitment of our members, German industry in Ghana, and being able to celebrate many joint success stories, feels like our marriage is entering in a second honeymoon phase now. Our countries have been partners for decades, but we are only now starting to harvest the success of our commitment.
This forum is a necessary, timely, and continuous conversation to have. Trading between Ghana and Germany has been on a steady rise, and we in Ghana believe that the stage is very much set for a significant boost in trade between our both countries.
So what can we do for you at GIPC? We will help you first get your business on the ground. We'll act as your guide, we'll handhold you, and we'll make sure that whatever proposals you come in that are good and there's mutual beneficiation and are transformational and sustainable, we actually bring from entrepreneurship to business.
Ladies and gentlemen, relations between our two peoples date back to the 17th century, encompassing several relations and relationships, including trade, and the work of the Bremen missionaries, who contributed very strongly to the establishment and development of Christianity in our country, now the major religion of Ghana. However, formal diplomatic relations between our countries were established soon after Ghana's independence in 1957. 64 years on, and with Ghana having assumed the position, as you've heard, of being Germany's fourth largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa, the fruits of German-Ghanaian relations are evident. The Ghanaian-German Center for Jobs, Migration and Reintegration, the Marian International Center for Advanced Studies at the University of Ghana, Legon, and the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center are examples of the imprints of German-assisted infrastructure in our country. Furthermore, Germany's presidency of the G20, which led to the creation of the G20 Compact with Africa, is ensuring more private sector investments to Ghana and other Africa Compact countries. We in Ghana are encouraged by the fact that more German companies than ever are looking to invest in Ghana, symbolized by the opening of representations of the German industry giant ThyssenKrupp and the German logistics global player Kuhn & Nagel in the country, and the establishment of the Volkswagen assembly plant in Ghana. We will continue to create and maintain the conducive investment environment not only guarantees the safety of investments, but good returns as well. We'll continue to protect legitimate investments and preserve the atmosphere of peace, stability, and security that has been an important contributor to the increasing presence of German businesses in Ghana. We've witnessed through the ballot box 3 peaceful transfers of power from one political party to another in the 28-year period of the Fourth Republic. We're a country where the principles of democratic accountability and respect for the rule of law, individual liberties, and human rights are now firmly entrenched in our body politic, and where the separation of powers is real in promoting accountable governance. I'm currently in my second and final term as President of the Republic, and over the last 4 years, my government has done a lot of work in correcting the fundamentals of the economy, which were all pointing in the wrong direction when I took office in 2017. We have, over the period, put in place measures needed to reduce the cost of doing business, improve the business environment, and made the Ghanaian economy not only one of the most business-friendly economies in Africa, but also one of the fastest-growing economies in the world between 2017 and 2020, averaging annual GDP growth rates of 7% for those years, up from the 3.4% growth rate we inherited from the previous government in 2016. Indeed, with the economies of many countries around the world in recession, having recorded negative growth in 2020, largely as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, Ghana's economy was one of the very few that still managed to record a positive GDP growth, albeit a very modest 0.9%. In spite of the ravages of the pandemic, we're working to grow the economy at a much faster rate this year, our target being a 5% GDP growth rate, which will enhance the prospects of win-win environment for both private sector and country, an environment where companies do not just survive, but actually thrive. In the first quarter of this year, the GDP of the economy grew at 3.1%, in the second at 8.9%. The major program driving the revival and revitalization of the Ghanaian economy is the 100 billion cedi Ghana Cares or Bantapa program, whose main elements include A, supporting commercial farming and attracting educated youth into commercial farming. B, building the country's light manufacturing sector. C, developing engineering, machine tools, and ICT digital economy industries. D, fast-tracking digitalization. E, developing Ghana's housing and construction industry. F, establishing Ghana as a regional hub. G, reviewing and optimizing the implementation of government flagships and key programs. And H, creating jobs for young people and expanding opportunities for the vulnerable in society, including physically challenged persons. It continues to be an exciting time to be in Ghana and to do business in the country. Already, other global car manufacturing giants, Toyota and Nissan of Japan, Sinotruk of China, have also established assembly plants in the country. Twitter is establishing its African headquarters in Ghana. Google's first African Artificial Intelligence Center is located in Ghana. And the well-known Norwegian energy company, Aker, is very much established in Ghana. Ghana is further privileged to play host to the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which represents currently a market of some 1.2 billion people, spread over 54 countries, with a combined GDP of some 3 trillion United States dollars. Trading in the emerging single market began on 1st January this year. In recent times, Ghana has seen a significant rise in interest from German investors. According to records from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, there's been a total of 192 projects with a foreign direct investment value of 84 million United States dollars registered from Germany within the last decade. These investments are in several sectors of the economy. For example, agriculture, tourism, energy, industry, and trade. And we're expecting this to rise. So I would urge even further the business community in Germany to take advantage of the business-friendly climate in the country to invest in Ghana. I'm sure you've heard of some of my government's flagship policies, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, and the program for planting for food and jobs, which I commend to you, as I do areas in water, health, housing, road and rail infrastructure, transport, industry, manufacturing, agriculture, petroleum and gas, the exploitation of our mineral wealth of bauxite, iron ore and gold, renewable energy, and ICT growth. A key challenge of our economy, like many other economies in Africa, is its infrastructural deficit. We're embarking on an aggressive public-private partnership program to attract investment in the development of both our road and railway infrastructure. We're hopeful that with solid private sector participation, we can develop a modern railway network with strong production center linkages and with the potential to connect us to our neighbors. Indeed, Ralph Blackenbach, I hope you'll forgive the pronunciation.
You did it perfectly.
Oh, thank you. And Haveland Dische Eisenbahn of Germany are part of a European consortium engaged in the 1.8 billion United States dollar rehabilitation of the existing Eastern Railway line from Accra to Kumasi. Members of the German business community, you can choose to invest in Ghana through the Ghana Investment Promotion Center or set up as a free zones enterprise. Regardless of where the investment is, the government has instituted a number of fiscal incentives for the investor, depending on the nature of the activity or the location of the investment. Ghana is rightly considered a beacon of democracy in Africa. In the same vein, we're determined to replicate the inspiration of Germany and make Ghana an example of rapid economic growth within the context of a well-developed market economy. We welcome your contribution to this endeavor. Ask God to bless the peoples of Ghana and Germany, and especially our respective business communities. Thank you very much.
As an agency that falls under the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, responsible for digitalization of public services in Ghana, GhanaWeb takes a particular interest in the Flood app that has been developed as part of this project. The development of the app feeds directly into the ongoing efforts to digitize aspects of the agency's operations. This effort has seen the agency gradually transition from manual stations to automatic weather stations, among other things. The Flood app, as we shall have it, will enable the agency to communicate weather warnings and advisories more directly, efficiently, and timely to the general public, with the Greater Accra Municipal Assembly as the piloted area. The agency looks forward for more collaboration to extend this app content to cover all areas within the country. Over the years, the agency has heavily relied on traditional media for this purpose. However, we have not often achieved optimal results because the traditional media houses do not communicate sometimes the forecast timely as expected. Last year, GMET partnered the University of Ghana and the Global Monitoring for Environment and Security, GMES, Africa team to develop a unique USSD code for the issuance of marine forecasts. This new system has augmented the traditional method of issuing marine forecasts through telephone calls and flag hosting. Feedback received from the fisher folks and operators on the sea points to an enhanced and accessible forecast with low margins of error. This has assured them of security going into the sea. Currently, GMET is also working with the University of Ghana, Regional Institute of Population Studies, RIPS, and the Makerere University in Uganda to develop a weather information delivery system, WITS. The project seeks to explore how to improve weather and climate information management in Ghana for effective service provision through the application of suitable ICTs. This is a multifaceted approach of communicating climate information to stakeholders through mobile USSD and web interface platforms. So, ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me when I say that the newly developed flood app under this project, which is going to be handed over to GMET to manage, is very significant to our operations and comes in at the right time. The agency will ensure we use it to our optimum benefit and also for the well-being of the users. In 2018 and 2019, at the 17th session of its Executive Council and the 18th session of the World Meteorological Congress, WMO refined guidance and policies to encourage and enable members to pursue mutually beneficial partnerships and engagement with all sectors and stakeholders in order to enhance weather, climate, and water services for business, individuals, and society as a whole. Likewise, the WMO is encouraging citizen science approach to strengthen collaboration between the general public and scientists for effective weather and climate services. Already, the WMO, in cooperation with various partners, has been developing a new approach for greater engagement between the public, private, and academic sectors operating in the global weather enterprise. Our operational areas as GMET are public weather service delivery, aeronautical services, research, hydro, agro, climate, and marine meteorology, consultancy, and meteorological instrumentation, among others.
This project is to make sure indiscipline is totally reduced to the barest minimum on our roads. It's also going to make sure that the carnage that we are experiencing on the roads also is taken care of. This project has come at an opportune time because of what is happening on our roads currently, just here and there. So this morning we want the press to know that you have such a project, and this project is going to help the Motor Traffic and Transport Department to monitor that level of indiscipline on our roads. The essence of this project is that it captures the road network within the country. When an offense is committed, it is immediately detected and the jurisdiction in which that offense was committed is notified, and immediately the person is apprehended. It is going to help us clear the roads of miscreants. Miscreants who have decided not to comply with the Road Traffic Act. We are sending also a warning to drivers on our roads that this time round, wherever you are, you'll be nipped in the bud. For the surveillance center is so monumental in such a way that whatever you do on the road that affects or that goes contrary to the road traffic regulation, you'll be arrested.
This system is a surveillance system that has been developed to monitor all traffic infractions and issues regarding careless driving, dangerous driving, driving on the verges of the road, on our major intersections, on our major highways, towns, and cities. The reason why this system is in place is because of the fact that day in, day out, we witness an upsurge of traffic accidents on our major roads and highways and on our major intersections. The crux of the issue has to do with the fact that drivers are becoming increasingly dangerous, increasingly recalcitrant while using our routes. That is why the speed of traffic accidents are increasing, the speed of congestions on our routes are increasing at an alarming pace. Recently, just last week, we realized that just Saturday to Sunday, 19 people died as a result of infractions on the road. And as a police institution, we cannot let it go unattended to. So it is against this backdrop that the current Inspector General of Police has developed this system to make sure that we downsize the problem. So over here, as we started about just 2 weeks ago. And as at now, we have spotted about 200 vehicles, according to this system, who have gone contrary to the rules and regulations, and they are being processed before the law court. The issue is that you don't have to see the physical presence of the policeman on the road before we can enforce traffic rules and regulations. We are, as at now, going to use this type of system to make sure that drivers who flout traffic rules and regulations, are arrested and prosecuted.
These are cameras installed at the various traffic intersections, some vital installations, and then on our highways. The cameras are not the ordinary CCTV cameras we know about. They are cameras that have special security features that makes us able to capture the offenders as soon as possible. What it means is that as soon as someone commits an offense, the agent you see here takes a snapshot of the offender, looking at the car make, the registration number, and the color. Having taken the shot, he goes ahead to take a video, a very short video of the offender's car. So this could be tendered in evidence at a law court. Now, what happens is this. Once we are done with those details, we have the system also recording 24/7, such that wherever you started your journey, Once our cameras are looking at you, we are able to play back what happened when you drive on our way. So technically, the cameras are not the normal CCTV cameras. They are special cameras that have special security features that makes us able to arrest you when you commit these offenses.
The police administration would like to make it clear that the 2021 police recruitment will start on the 27th, effectively 27th of August, where people can access, the site provided for the recruitment. We're making it clearer that we've not engaged any middleman or middlemen for the recruitment. Nobody have been tasked to go from one community to the other to sell any form, to collect any money on behalf of the police administration. All laid down procedures and regulations have been properly indicated in our advertisement, where people are to go to the commercial bank. No code have been given to any private person to use. And I said, those who come to communities, those who visit communities, those who go out there to transact their nefarious business as if they've been taxed, should immediately be arrested and sent to the nearby police station for investigations. Therefore, when you're a member of the public and you part any money or monies to those scammers, those fraudsters, you do so at your own risk. Again, some are even trying to use names, offices, to go out there to defraud people, mentioning specific police officers. All those things does not hold water. And therefore, we urging the public to challenge those people, arrest them to the nearby police station or make a report to the police. Ever since the advertisement came in, we've seen a lot of fraudsters using all mechanisms. And let me make it clear and emphatic here that our advertisement was placed in the Daily Graphic and the Ghanaian Times. We've not opened any other or publish the advertisement at any other platform. Therefore, let's take note. And the official site is going to be active on the 27th of August. And that is the official, site to access your application. People should take note and should not permit themselves to be swindled. I thank warmly Armin Laschet, Minister President of North Rhine-Westphalia, for the opportunity to be part of this important event, the opening of the North Rhine-Westphalian Academy for International Affairs. Since I assumed the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana, I've been privileged to address audiences of some of the world's most renowned institutions of higher learning. The opportunity to do so once again was one I was not going to pass by. I'm very fortunate and indeed very honored and privileged to be here in Bonn. For most of the latter half of the 20th century, the capital of the erstwhile West Germany, and the flag bearer of freedom in a Europe then divided by the Iron Curtain. This institution has been set up primarily to foster, to quote, to foster research at the highest level and promote the growth of international and interdisciplinary networks, unquote. The ultimate goal of this academy is to help expand and share global knowledge, inspire creativity and innovation, and preserve cultural, political, and scientific information for use by future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to this beautiful country of Germany always invokes contradictory feelings in freedom-loving Africans. It was here, in the latter part of the 19th century, in 1884 to be precise, that the representatives of the imperialist powers of Europe, led by the great European statesman of the day, the German Kaiser Wilhelm's Chancellor, Count Otto von Bismarck, and the British Queen Victoria's Tory Prime Minister, Benjamin Disraeli, met to put a formal seal on imperialist annexation of division of Africa in the historic Treaty of Berlin. The seal was removed 73 years later when Ghana gained her independence from British colonial rule in 1957, an event that set in motion the liberation of the rest of Africa from colonialism and imperialism, culminating finally in the downfall of the racist apartheid regime of South Africa in 1994. It was also in Germany in the first half of the 20th century that the Nazi Hitlerite regime spawned one of the most monstrous tyrannies known to human history, dedicated to the promotion of so-called Aryan supremacy. However, Germany ended the 20th century triumphantly and has become for the 21st century the global symbol and beacon of freedom, democracy, and prosperity. Under the guidance of the great German statespersons, Konrad Adenauer, founder of modern democratic Germany, who has given his name to the world-famous Konrad Adenauer Foundation, Helmut Kohl, architect of Germany's reunification, and currently the redoubtable Chancellor, Frau Angela Merkel, by common consent, the outstanding European leader of her generation. I believe I'm not alone when I say that the importance of the work to be undertaken by institutions such as this academy has been heightened by the onset of COVID-19, which has highlighted the importance of international cooperation. For us in Africa, what the pandemic has taught us is that it is the mutual interest of Africa and Europe to forge relations that will guarantee shared prosperity for us all, as we are bound by close ties of geography and history. Inasmuch as Africans need to move away from the mindset of dependence and aid, Europeans likewise must abandon the mentality of charity to the poor Africans that has tended to shape their relations with Africa. The strategic cooperation for long-term mutual benefit that saw the United States of America through the Marshall Plan, for example, guarantee investments by private U.S. firms into Europe and Japan after the Second World War, is an obvious case in point. This cooperation not only helped Europe and Japan rebuild their economies after the devastation of the Second World War, but also enable them to become viable partners in the global trade system, which ushered in prosperity among them to levels never before experienced in their respective histories. The United States was more than amply repaid for its assistance, as it benefits significantly from the rising prosperity. The time has come for Europe and Africa to establish a sustainable strategic partnership based on trade and investment cooperation. We have set our sights high, and to our friends in Europe, I ask you to join us in building a continent of prosperity with equal opportunities for all, which will safeguard the environment against climate change. A very important plank that we would expect from an AU-EU strategic partnership for shared prosperity will be the EU's strong support to the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, whose secretariat Ghana is privileged to host. The AFCFTA is linking 54 markets covering 1.2 billion people into a single market. It is the world's largest free trade area outside of the World Trade Organization itself. By 2050, it will cover an estimated 2.5 billion people and have over a quarter of the world's working age population. Imagine the investment and business opportunities offered by the infrastructure required to link these markets more effectively. And imagine the business opportunities that this huge market would offer for manufacturing and service firms from European countries that would establish production facilities in Africa to serve the African markets. And with the accelerated growth that will result from all of these, the market opportunities for exporters from European countries could be truly amazing. These are immense opportunities worth working closely together to pursue. I hope that you in Germany, with your own experience of the EU and how it has helped rejuvenate and grow the economies of the European Union, will be keen in supporting us in the African Union and facilitating our efforts to build the continental free trade area into an effective trading bloc, which will be a close trading partner of the EU. European and African countries have a strong mutuality of interest in joining together in a new approach focused on generating quickly shared prosperity. So let us get to work, and I'm confident the Academy of International Affairs will play its part and help provide the impetus for the growth of strong relations between Africa and Europe. I'm particularly hopeful that the Academy will develop a strong working partnership with the Legon Center for International Affairs, LESIA, whose remit is in the same domain and which is situated at the University of Ghana. Let me, in conclusion, congratulate her, Amin Laschet, for the vision and realization of the Academy, which I'm certain will become a major force to reckon with, not only in Germany, but across the world. I wish the Academy the best of luck and success. And finally, I wish Herr Laschet, now the standard bearer of the great Christian Democratic Union, the very best of luck in the forthcoming German parliamentary elections, so that he can have the opportunity to build on the admirable legacy of freedom and prosperity of that greatest of European politicians, Frau Angela Merkel, Bundeskanzlerin, as she goes off into her well-deserved retirement. She'll be sorely missed by many in Africa, especially by those of us in Ghana. I thank you for your attention.
can I say? Congratulations. The media these days is not easy. I think that you guys are doing your very best. And when I look at the team of people who are doing this work, I can only congratulate you and hope that this team will maintain and move on to achieve much greater things. But congratulations, you're doing a good job.
Alright, so we're back on this episode of the GhanaWeb Fridays debate right here on GhanaWeb TV. If you are watching a football game or listening to commentary, which goal is the most important for you and puts you in the mood to enjoy your game? Is it the first goal, the last, or the final goal? Let me hear from you in the comment section as I interact with football fans on the streets of Accra. My name is Joel Leshan, and this is another episode of the GhanaWeb Fridays debate right here on GhanaWeb TV. Follow me as I get interesting answers for you on the show. Alright, so we are on the streets again to interact with football fans, but this question on this episode is very simple. If we're watching a football game, between the person who scored the first goal and the winning goal, who becomes the most important player to you in the game? I have our first gentleman here, and I'll be engaging him briefly. More crowd about GhanaWeb TV.
The chef is good.
More crowd about GhanaWeb TV.
What's it?
More crowd about GhanaWeb TV. Team man I was supporting.
Me supporting Barcelona.
Who supporting
Barcelona?
Barca. All right. So what shot boy? Yeah, I share first goal. Any day I share winning goal. Why? And then win up.
The chef first goal. No, on the win ya. On team no. Supporters from when I the women have them. The chef is going to Munya pa. It's a border Obona Gura and Bema and Ebona supporters for Muni Vim Pride. The chef is going to Munya pa. If your bishop first go, no be taker, no be answer winning go and say you will not win. Oh, come my chef the Porsche first goal. There's a goal and back, neighbor or share, and also the offense last goal. We could go at Dibia, oh yeah, a boa, a chasen, a bokoya mobile, a boa, a chasen queen mobile, a bedroom, a boy, a year night, a bokoya, a diamond, and town soon young, so among ya. Alright, so he says that the one who scored the first goal to him is the most important player in the game, because there might be a situation that he will score the first goal, and if his team is able to defend well, they can hold on to that goal and win the game. So the question is, between the one who scored the first goal and the winning goal, who is the most important for you? So what shot ball? Between the Pobesha first goal and the Pobesha last goal and that's a winning goal. Why and a new year per mount? I knew we the Pobesha last goal couldn't be about. Because the first goal there, no here there, but say, and to my man couldn't be a man, not just for some muscle. The Pobesha last goal now, only the Emma, you on no win here pass in the first goal. About my person, no first goal. Obian to Mante, on one or first and on our last. But so bit there, not just a little, and was almost. You was a share winning goal. Now by 1-0. The 2-0 can let's say 2-1. We need the let's say 1-0. Let's say no share last no. Send it by noon yapa. I know just or share first go no win but need an persona. Alright.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me speak to this man right here. But your team man was supporting.
I'm a Accra folk.
We are Accra folk fan. Enti, we share Accra folk ball. Between the Pobesha first goal and the Pobesha last goal, no. Why and no here? And I said why go? And Rebecca said go away there so far so.
Who said no go menu near so far because your share first goal. But we pin up goal now. Chances in the map. A bit my special only go be on a bemba. Your best first goal. I'm a Muraba players in the Amania. I'm break one and you bit much second goal send your passion. One share first goal. Obia will say, born on if I never yen share go here. Pressure bedamoso. Are we home to now share first goal? It release the pressure from soon. What you say? Emma Munya, we my chances in about more motivation more. One share first goal and your mother.
Alright, so you've heard his explanation extensively on what you think about this. You can also join the conversation by stating your opinion in the comment section. We go along and speak to other football fans to find out what they think about this particular topic. We are still here to interact with football fans right here at Circle. If you are watching a football game between the one who scored the first goal and the last goal, which goal will be the most important for you? I have these two gentlemen here, and I'll be engaging with them briefly here on the show. About GhanaWeb TV.
What do I say?
But your team man, I support you.
We support Has.
We support Accra House of Folk. And it's a share Accra House of Folk ball, or maybe Accra Sports Stadium, and I say what TV so. Between the Pobesha first goal, I'm fan say Benjamin Afutu as a first goal. A 3 year ban here as a last goal and as a winning goal. So 2 goals, you know. Then first one I say is the most important.
Winning goal is most important because we say no never na ma pressure no abafem. Because with 1 goal there, so when you show 1 goal as a team, it's here. I go na sesa. It's the best winning goal no. Say 2-0 and 2-1 na. Ema who trouble no. Akoma abafem. Oh, now to be follow ball ni. It's na me support winning goal no.
But Obisibeka say football say first goal na nkadia banye ebeshe no nice or the ticker.
Say I know that the ticker like say gonna pie. And always the last goal is important. Football na 90 minutes, but the last goal is important. Obi to be ball 2-2, but no better last goal no be carry there no fit no mo. Ni dey expect o be dia. At the make e say any kotoko ye ball FA Cup he say. Ucha players no be abo made, but keeper ni penalty no boy no. And na GD. But the make na say keeper ni dey no boy no share no. And na GD. Because they no dey no. Me dey ma for keeper no say no. The last goal always determines the game.
Alright, so the last goal always determines the goal to him. Yeah. But let me find out from this gentleman too. Pajon Mwakwa about GhanaWeb TV.
Okay, me just.
Team men are supporting.
Me Accra Sofo.
Also, Accra Sofo.
Yes, sir.
And this is a share house ball. Our TV so, and I say Accra Sports Stadium. Now, Fatah Mohammed, SFS goal. Na Obi to say Kojo Bin Junior SL last goal na sa 2 goals no then he and who be him especially be money kotoko na ebo.
Okay, to me pa the massa first goal there massa e mo bi kwati me bodam first goal bi betima free abrosan so better for me the first goal there massa powerful. I'm telling you. What's your first goal, mami? Kwa na win so much, me okay. Me na make sure.
And this one kotoko ebo. Na Fatawa she first goal. Na bia Fabio Gama, any Mudasiru, Asetu aka ho a. Na Kojo Bin Junior, ebete ka no ma ho. So we beka say Fatawa there no. And the most important for you now.
Yes, sir, boss, because on a be a coin. First goal, a man will be more power to go forward. This will be first goal. No more watching, no Monya Homeka. What did they make? The first goal, the massa made them defend the goal.
Alright, so I don't joke with first goals when I'm watching football games. It's quite intriguing that to him, even if his team is able to score the first goal and they lose the entire game, he doesn't care because first goal puts you in the mood when watching a football game. We are still talking to football fans to find out their reactions and how they think about this particular one. Between a first goal and last goal or winning goal, which one is the most important for you, or the one you look out for most when you're watching a football game? So we are still here at the taxi rank here at Circle to interact with football fans. Also supporting Manchester United. And this is Manchester United ball. Now Bruno Fernandes. Esha first goal. Now Marcus Rashford. Esha last goal and Esha winning goal. So 2 goals, you know. They are in a winning goal, the last goal, they are a winner. I don't know me pay. It's a winning goal. A winning goal. Yeah. Obviously, say you first goal. Now, you say first goal. Say you first goal now. Their last one, the best channel, a better draw. To me, you draw, sir. You bet to my moment to me, Martin bet to my pepe. Could do a last minute. Now, about one say, your friends, the last goal, and I say we winning goal. Now, I can see no, I beg you. What I say? It's the last goal, idiot. Last goal is the most important one for me. That's what this gentleman is saying. You can also join in the comment section. GhanaWeb TV. By your own show, first goal and last goal. Oh, first goal and Hunyamapa. And Hunyamapa. Don't play last goal. I didn't tell. Sir, Chelsea and Man City, they 1 goal and they win a first goal. They win a Champions League. It's the first goal. They Hunyama Timbia. And says, Timbia did the first goal. Dia Grokra. And see, what the old shop boy. Me Shabo, my first goal in Yame. My first goal in Yame. Alright, so first goal is the most important, and he used the Chelsea and Manchester City UEFA Champions League final game as a basis for his analysis. To him, Kai Havertz scored the first goal, and it was enough for Chelsea to win the Champions League. Let me speak to this man to find out from his to get his opinion on this topic. GhanaWeb TV so. Okay. Me GhanaWeb TV so. Team man I support you. Yeah, Liverpool. We are Liverpool there. And to who shall Liverpool ball? A bit to say on Sunday, Liverpool, Saturday Liverpool and Chelsea ball. Who shall go now? Now Mohamed Salah shall first go. Now Van Dijk, shall last go and I said Bibisa. So go to then and we are in the first place. Shimaka said last goal no. We hear me passing first goal. Yes. I'm saying me only me kasa sisi am. Or cite example or Chelsea din e cite example. Say Chelsea first goal or share you. I know they win and the same Chelsea but cite example. The same 1 goal Didier Drogba or share last goal and do we need and Chelsea in the Champions League. Say why the chef first goal be by I don't care. Last goal and I'm Didier Drogba and they lifting Champions League for the first time Emma Chelsea. So to me no last goal very important as the first goal. I don't care whoever scored the first goal. First goal above first goal my man you want me try. Me only 1 goal let me the winning. Drogba share last goal Emma the winning the Champions League. And to me the last goal is very important at the moment as the first goal. Alright, so Didier Drogba scored the last goal in the 2012 UEFA Champions League final for Chelsea to win their first Champions League trophy. So to me, I don't care about the one who scores the first goal. I'm always looking for the last or final goal when watching football games. I'm not about GhanaWeb TV. I always show more. First goal, last goal. Then I know what trying to do.
Last goal.
Oh, yeah, last goal.
Oh, yeah.
Footballer Ben, I will share game. Or share last goal when it's Japan.
Your best Asamoah.
Yeah. Next game, man.
Now your best, I think 2010.
2010.
Yeah, 2010.
Against USA.
Yeah.
Into what they are open last goal. Yeah. So first goal and winning goal, which one is the most important for you if you are watching a football game?
But your team man and can I support it?
Ghana now say outside.
Maybe
maybe outside there. Yeah,
who support Real Madrid?
Real Madrid.
And to watch a game, first goal and the last goal. They ain't in here,
well, first goal and last goal. Now we here.
Okay.
We are as a Upiani, doctor, and a teacher. Because when you man are more important, we not important, but they are not yet. You who are yet crucial one pie and last goal.
Yeah, last goal.
A bit my 1-1. But Obi bet me about last goal. Now I quite winning goal. It's media for me. I Alexia. I bet my endorse say last goal no. First goal is important, but last goal no. Is crucial.
So he used two words: crucial and important. First goal is important, but the last goal is crucial for him as a Madridista. Which one is important and crucial for you too? Let me hear from you in the comment section. No, I'm going to GhanaWeb TV so. But just a whole boy. First goal and the last goal. They ain't no win pa.
Last goal.
Last goal. Until they are first goal ni there. And win here man.
Oh, it's a win here, but last goal there serious.
Last goal is serious. Until one time shot ball, but ball ben I share will be share last goal. I will say, Emma only J pa.
Yeah, Kotokona smart there. Me touch pa. Apart from Kotokona, and you are blaster. Ghana blaster we are more boy. So we check. Apart from no,
it's blaster. They don't kind. Asamoah last go against USA.
Yeah, me care.
Say no feeling in city.
Oh, yeah, fine.
It's you the ocean. The best last go.
Last go, no, no, go.
Alright, so we are ending today's episode of the Fridays debate right here on GhanaWeb TV. We are asking that between a first goal and last goal or final goal, which one is the most important for you? I have this gentleman here, and let me engage him briefly. Mokwa GhanaWeb TV. Between first goal and the last goal, there ain't no pa.
Maybe last goal
okay, I didn't think I would say last goal.
Sometimes last goal say Basana. The first opponent in the first goal. Sometimes some likely say or make me take down. But most of the time some maybe a first person the last goal. Yeah, it's very difficult say. Or make it last goal.
Alright. Footballer bang and a share last goal in your match and then in the other soccer.
Oh, Messi to miss last goal.
Or a particular game, yeah. And we say we are a cup final, we send them more day.
This is a class final. Say them more day. Last goal never. Yeah, who can say? The first goal never.
Alright, so you heard what this gentleman had to say. Is the last goal for him? What do you also think? Between the first goal and the last goal, let me know what you think about this. Tell us which one makes you happy when you are watching a football game. My name is Joel Eshen, and this has been another episode of the GhanaWeb Fridays Debate right here on GhanaWeb TV. You can bring your contributions in the comment section after watching the video and reading the stories that comes with the video. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share the video. Until we meet again, you know how we do it here. It's bye for now.
Hi viewers, my name is Eli630 and I'm doing this one for you. I call this one a crabby day. So let's vibe. A crabby day, your boy for hustle. That be how we dey grind. A crabby day, your boy for hustle. That be how we dey grind. Even if money no day, still vim day. Cause Gary day. Even if money no day, still vim day. Cause watch it day. We wake up with a morning vibe. With or without money, Vim day. Get a boy go to roadside. Coco watch it, that be the vibe. Money no day will be balanced die. No. I cry every day, your boy for hustle. That be how we dey grind. Even if money no day, still Vim day. Cause what you day. Even if money no day, still Vim day. Cause Gary day. I cry, any criminal can roam about. And if you leave your door open, then go steal you. I cry, anybody can come right away. But if you don't take time, you go back. I cry every day, your boy for hustle. That be how we dey grind. Even if money no day, still Vim day. Cause watch it day, that joint day. Even if money no day, still Vim day. Cause Coco day. For the roadside, no. For the roadside, you know, we are jumping. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know. So one very morning, I was walking on the streets of Accra, and I saw this lady where I was so hungry, and she gave me something. As of now, I don't even know what she gave me. So it's up to you to define what she gave me. So listen. Now I dey walk for the roadside in the morning, where I see him. I say, Oba, I want to eat something. Where she drop him. She check my body to see the money way left for my body. She give me short, but she no give my paddy. So for the roadside where we started eat, oh. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know, we are jumping. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know, we are jumping. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know, we are chopping. For the roadside, you know, we are chopping. The thing they be, the finny be deep, my know. I know the fit to left them. So for the corner where we dey chop everything, no play. We dey eat, we dey laugh, we dey grind day. We dey chop everything, so my nigga. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know, we are chopping. For the roadside, you know. For the roadside, you know. Trying to make a life for you and I. Trying to make a future with my wife, oh. Them say you and I, we no go fit to make up. I swear it be lie. I no be part of Flamem gang like I go give you vibes song. One my dear penna. One my dear penna. Cause the time I dey chase you now no money day. If you say you love me, mommy yeah don't do it. If you say you need me, mommy yeah don't do it. Don't do. Mommy yeah don't do it. Don't do. Mommy yeah don't do it. We are divinely accepted. So be my woman, make her be your man. So that together we go be united. Yeah, me and Kwano my dede. If I no get love, way I get 6 packs. Will you marry me? If you know be Benz, way it be moto. Will you marry me? Don't do. Mami nya don't do. Mami nya don't do. Hey, anytime I go see you, beer, then my body it dey itch me. It be like make I go there, colleague not see inside. Make I swim till 6:30. But so me aketia, meje, ebusinya penny, ababeji mu 360. Inti ino day me. Yankosaka on the beach, forget it can pisky. My yadoninya popular say Ekufado SHS campaign movie my high five. Even in difficulties, we never go turn back. No Baba say no matter the hard times. Minya Yesu Christo, anka mesha wobo. Ba minya Lucifer you say dear, mecha wodo. Minya yanka, me one out 3 days. But what if I go and I don't come again? Don't do. Mami nya don't do it. Don't do. Mami nya don't dare. Hey, I swear what don't know etale me who to say skinny. Open BlackBerry phone, but mini penny. I swear my father like order. Oh yeah magic, me blinking at the universal charger and so every say koku mini kobo. Me last penny 1 CD, me di bedi coco. Me ya fresh. Et say America dollar, but minisika into every day me trebola into open me. Minisika me topes, but me work else into every day me ya fresh. Or that you me. Oh yeah me taste for the last. Otale me bo. Et say Barcelona crest. To be precise, you are the best in the world. Into mame kwai na me no nsna. Don't do. Mami nya don't do. Mami nya don't do. Wapo say that say, oh evil man. Playing smart and not being clever. Said you walk in iniquity to achieve vanity. By the goodness of Jaja and your right forever. If you are the big tree, we are the small days, ready to cut you down, sharpen to cut you down. These are the words of my master. Keep on telling me, no weak heart shall prosper. Whosoever they get a beat shall fall in it. Whosoever they get a beat shall bury it. If you are the big tree, we are the smallest, ready to cut you down, sharpen to cut you down. If you are the big tree, we are the smallest, ready to cut you down, sharpen to cut you down. wanna say. It's only nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I cannot laugh the way you numb to the pain. Now that they bleed into nightfall, and you're not here to get me to the door. I lay my guard down, and then you pulled it wrong. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to turn to. This only night and way of loving got me sleeping without. I need somebody to know, somebody to hear, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I cannot laugh the way you helped me escape. Now that they bleed into nightfall, and you're not here to get me to the door. I lay my guard down, and then you pulled it wrong. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. So my name is Ellie630, and I did this with GhanaWeb TV. Check me out on Ellie630 on Instagram, Ellie_630_official on Instagram, and on Facebook, Ellie630, Twitter, Ellie630, YouTube, Ellie630. It was nice having you. I sign out.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Welcome to the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. This program brings to you the hard truth, the facts, and the fears. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. 23rd August 2021 marks 230 years since the beginning of the uprising in Santo Domingo, today Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This played a crucial role in the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. To mark this day, the world commemorates the International Day for the Remembrance of the Atlantic Slave Trade and its abolition. Our question is, what is the depth of enlightenment of African Americans on slave trade and their connection to the continent? We would have this discussion with our guest, who is the founder and president of a Washington, D.C. based African Cultural Edutainment, Resource and Consulting Group. This is the Lowdown. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. Our guest is the CEO and founder of the Adinkra Group, Diallo Sambri. Welcome to the Lowdown.
Thank you so much for having me in your new studio.
Thanks a lot.
Greatly appreciate it. Good to see you again, too.
Yeah, good to see you again. The last time we spoke, you were the first African American to be Ghana's tourism ambassador.
Yes,
so
sir.
are you still in that role, or is over now?
I'm still in the role. As far as I know, I'm still in the role. I still have a very healthy relationship with the Minister of Tourism, with Ghana Tourism Authority, with the Beyond the Return Committee, so it's going well. I mean, naturally, like everyone else, COVID has taken precedence, but I think we're all working steadily to make sure that Ghana's tourism industry stays afloat.
Yeah, talking about COVID, I know it's affected the tourism industry, and the Edinkra Group is deep in that space. So how bad is it for your company?
Well, so a part of what we do is tourism. So I wouldn't necessarily answer the question with how bad it is. I would say that along with everyone else who works in tourism, especially heritage tourism, bringing people to West African countries, everybody suffered to an extent because of international policies around flights, COVID vaccinations, COVID tests. The expense of the COVID test has made it difficult for some people to travel. People are concerned about their health. So we're really more or less focused on helping people be safe, following the trends, and doing our research to make sure that when people do come, we can provide a safe trip for them here and a safe passage home.
Well, we'll soon talk about Edinkra Group, but now let's talk about the International Day for the commemoration of slave trade and its abolition. And slave trade is a very important subject when it comes to even Ghana, when it comes to even the world, because black people, a lot of us were taken outside the continent to other places. And I think you have roots in that line because you are African American, and I think every African American basically has roots in Africa. How are Americans right now, I mean black Americans, how are they reconciling with the fact that slave trade did happen and also trying to connect to their roots? I know this is a very broad question.
It is. What I would say is I wouldn't look at it in a vacuum. So I wouldn't necessarily look at now as an extremely special time when you look at the history of African people in America. So one, I think it's important to say that we all know that Africa is the cradle of civilization. So depending upon how deep we want to go with science and how far we want to go back, I would say that every human being has African ancestry, right? So one, the world has to kind of accept that and then figure it out. Two, a lot of people are familiar with the transatlantic slave trade, right? A lot of people are familiar with what happened. There are things that are still being discovered. So it's not a new thing. I think it's important to commemorate it. I think it's important to have conversations about it without necessarily indicting every other race, so to speak. And I think it's important for us to accept it, right? Figure out how to move beyond it and focus more on how we level up and move into the future more so than what happened, right? Because if we spend our whole time talking about what happened, we know that there's a gap of time we won't ever be able to recover, right? We know that there's been an identity loss for those of us who are in America or the Caribbean or other parts, right? So I'm more or less focused on solutions, right? So one way that I'm working towards helping people recover that identity loss is I work with a company called AfricanAncestry.com. AfricanAncestry.com is the only DNA tracing company that allows people of African descent to trace their DNA back to modern day country and ethnic group. That helps to recover the gap. But more than anything else, it's just really about empowering people with their history, with their culture, to be able to move forward. And people do that in different ways.
Yeah, so talking about the present right now, you know, we've had the Black Lives Matter protests and also racism, which is really key and going on everywhere. Is there any connection with the African struggle? Because currently in Africa, there's also its own issues and the struggle. Is it an issue of black and white, or is it just an extension of what's happening here that's going on there?
I think it's an extension, and I think that the best way to look at it, no matter where you are in the world, is a continuum. And if we are able to look just at the past 100 years, 150 years, we can see some alignment specifically with the history of Africans in America and with the African continent, right? So one of the reasons why Ghana is such an exciting and appropriate place for this new emerging black renaissance, where people want to come back home is because of Ghana's relationship with Black America, so to speak. Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, spent a lot of time in America. Yeah. And it didn't necessarily, the time he spent there didn't necessarily provide a full foundation for his thoughts on Pan-Africanism, but it increased his capacity. He went to an historically black college and university, Lincoln University. He spent a lot of time, what we call, on the streets of Harlem, listening to orators. So when you look at history, you're going to see an alignment with the civil rights struggle of black people and the African independence movement. When you read history and research on Kwame Nkrumah, you're going to see how his involvement, his conversations with people like Malcolm X, with people like Martin Luther King, with people like Ralph Bunche, Abernathy, and a lot of those other civil rights leaders helped him develop some of his thoughts around democracy and Pan-Africanism. And you see it the other way around, too. So it's really, I think, appropriate that Ghana is in this position right now. And I'm saying that to say that now let's go forward to Black Lives Matter. It's a different time and a different movement, but it hasn't stopped. It's just taken on a new position, a new transition. So in the first quarter of the 20th century, you had black people fighting for education, right? Wanting to be educated, wanting to have equal rights. Then we had things like Brown versus Board of Education, separate, not equal, right? Then we go to the 60s and 70s, we had civil rights. Now we're in 2020 and we're saying Black Lives Matter, right? But it's all somewhat of the same struggle. And at the same time, I think we can all accept the ridiculousness of having to fight for human rights, of having to demand to be treated like a human, right? And that's what we all want.
And now the struggle has been digitalized. It's online. We have all these movements online and everything like that. Is it the same for education? Are African Americans taught all these history that you know, which you've read from books? Is that the same thing going on out there?
Well, when you look at formal education and how most people are taught history and where most people get the basis of their information from, it's from public school. If you look at the public school system in the United States, if you look at the public school system in Europe, in Asia, in South America, in Africa, nobody teaches history from an African-centered perspective, or nobody teaches history from an African-empowered perspective. There is no curriculum in the world internationally recognized in any institution, most of them outside of some black history departments and some HBCUs and private institutions, that talk about Africa as a cradle of civilization, that address the stories of African antiquity. We have the ridiculousness of people saying that pyramids in Egypt were built by aliens, right? Nobody talks about the Mali Empire. Nobody talks about the Songhai Empire. Nobody talks about these great African civilizations and how math, science, geometry, and all of these things came out of a very ancient culture, right? So the same in America. Most people who are educated formally, they do not receive an education that talks about the history of African people beyond enslavement. So you start learning about your roots at slavery. You watch the movie Roots. You learn that in 1619, black people, you learn that you were slaves and then you got free, right? And I don't even like to say slaves, I'd rather say enslaved, right? But so that hasn't changed, and I don't think that's going to change. In fact, in my book, A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide, in the education chapter, I talk about that. I talk about that. I think that all education has a fallacy in its foundation until it begins to recognize Africa as the cradle of civilization and starts from the beginning. Yeah. Right? And it's a fact. It's not my opinion. It's not, you can debate it all you want, but you're not debating me. You're debating time and history.
So with this issue of education, I know for yourself, I mean, your personal life, you had education with the help of your parents. So do you think it's a personal project for parents to teach their children, or they just have to leave it for the educational system to do it?
Well, I think that's a job for parents to decide how they want to raise their children. I'm an empowered parent. My children were raised with the understanding the schools that they attended knew that my children's parents were in charge of their education. And we partnered with the school system, right? Which is a different way of looking at it than putting the responsibility on the educational institution to educate your child. So I believe that parents are ultimately responsible, but I'm not here to indict parents, and I'm not here to indict people who haven't chosen to teach their children certain things. But I do think it is a personal choice, which many African Americans discover in college, right? Most African Americans you meet, that's why when they come to Ghana and they visit the slave castle, they say, we were lied to. I'm just finding out the truth about our history, about our people. And that's because they discovered it when they went to college, when they started reading books in their black history class, in their black literature class. This is when they began to discover a lot of things about black history and African history that they might not have discovered previously. I'm an advocate for facts and honest truth. And if you're honest, then why should we start at 1600 or 1500 when the world and civilizations were thriving for thousands of years before? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So we'll talk about the younger generation and how they're embracing the entire African Renaissance and also their interest in issues of history and their past. After this break, this is the lowdown. Welcome back from the break. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. This is a lowdown. Our guest, Diallo Sambri, is still here. So, Diallo, we're talking about history, education, and everything around black history. So, the younger generation, we have a lot of young people who get surprised when they get to Ghana and they see all the slave castles and everything else. Then it's like, we never knew this ever was there. We never knew this was the past, this was the history and all of that. Do we still have a lot of younger people interested in taking that journey back to the roots?
We do. One of the things that I think is different about this generation's, the younger generation's interest is I think the younger generation has an interest of finding out what went on, what happened, embracing it, and then moving forward. And sometimes it feels like the older generation finding out what happened and still sitting there and still resting in it and still pointing the finger, pointing the blame. You did this to us. These people did this to us. You helped them do this to us. And young people are like, okay, they're more or less, I think, embracing all of humanity. It's like, okay, this happened. Now, what do we do to move forward? Right now, how do we move forward? Which is what the next generation is supposed to do. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. When I look at my son, who's 24, his thought pattern and mindset is different than mine. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're doing what they're supposed to do, but I think that because of technology, because of the amount of available information, people are definitely looking at it a little bit differently. But the yearn to get information is still there from where I sit.
Yeah, and also you are also a stakeholder of tourism. And I know you try to get a lot of people to join your birthright journeys and all of that. How is that going? Are you really reaching the people? Do they get you?
You know what? That's actually a great question. Because the point of what we do with Birthright Journeys is not for people to get me. It's for people to get themselves, right? We want to put you in a situation, and we put you in a place for you to be face-to-face with yourself. Because it doesn't help you to get me. That's not going to help you accomplish your mission. That's not going to help you live in your purpose. The way that you live in your purpose is to get yourself. So are you ready to do that internal personal work, right? Where you come to grips with your own past, with your own history, with the history of your people, your family, then figure out what to do with that and how to use it to move forward. So I think in that sense, yes, it's working. I think that people who we've brought here, people who we've helped to curate a certain journey and experience, I think they've gotten that. And many people are beginning to see themselves differently. People have changed their names. Some people have moved. And then some people who never thought that they would visit the continent of Africa and step foot in the soil are also now bringing other people. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it is working. But it's a lifetime work, right? Because I'm not the first to do it and I won't be the last, right? Marcus Garvey started doing it a long time ago when he looked at trying to bring a whole bunch of black people or people of African descent to Africa. So I'm in that line of different people who felt like it was important to help people connect.
Yeah. So now let's bring it down to Ghana, where You know, the stories are here, and the stories are in the landmarks, the stories amongst the people, the stories are in books. Is a setup, I mean, up to standard for people to be able to soak in all the history that's around the country?
Well, is the setup up to standard for people who visit?
Who visit, yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the setup is up to standard for people who live in Ghana, who are Ghanaian, to embrace and get the history and culture that's around them. You know, interestingly enough, I'm from D.C., right? There are people in Southeast D.C. who've never been to Northwest D.C. There are people in Northeast D.C. who've never been to Southwest D.C. You get the point. Just like in Ghana, there are people who live in Cape Coast who've never been to Accra. There are people who live in Accra who've never been to Ada. So it's not just a Ghana thing when you start talking about access to information and education. I think that Ghana has done as good a job as it can with the tools that it has over the past few years in terms of making what history that is available to people who come. Can a better job be done? Yes, of course a better job can always be done. But I think there's also a magic in discovering, right? There's a magic in discovering and going through whatever you have to go through to get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, even if that pot of gold is a painful thing, right? By sitting in the male dungeon in Cape Coast or Elmina slave dungeon, or by walking through the door of no return and hearing the waves crash and imagining what your ancestors went through. So I think there's a value in all of that, but definitely more can be done to make it easier and to make it a more fulfilling experience. That's a part of the reason why I wrote the book, A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide, and that's a part of the reason why my team and I are developing tools that we think can help people have that experience in a more seamless, easier, and fulfilling way.
We'll soon come to the book and the tools, but as an African American, what opportunities do you see in this whole tourism and beyond tourism for Ghanaians who are here? And because you could see it from a different perspective than those who are here, what opportunities have you seen so far?
I met a gentleman at a wedding. He walked up to me and he said, "Excuse me, are you Diallo?" And I said, "Yes." And he's like, "I've been wanting to meet you." And I'm like, "Nice to meet you." And he said, "I just wanted to meet you to say thank you." And I was like, "You're welcome. Like, thank you for what?" And he was like, "Well, I understand you help with the year of return." I said, "Yes." And he said, "Because of you, I'm able to feed my family in a different way than I was able to before. And I'm still able to feed my family based on the relationships that I've made with people who's traveled here for the year of return." That was so fulfilling for me. Like that, and that was the reason for my involvement. Like, now how do we quantify that, right? How do you put that into a data report, right? To show everybody the effect that it has, that's a different story. But it's happening now, right? The effect is happening and it's working for Ghanaians. Again, I know you said we're going to get to the book, but my team and I, we're working on a lot of things that I think will help make that question more apparent and will help be able to bring more opportunities to Ghanaians in a way where they receive the education that they need, they receive the training that they need to be able to compete and work in an international marketplace.
Yeah. So now let's move to some other issues. I've received personally complaints from people who want to return home. Some come in and they can't even do a year. Some 6 months and they're out. You know, they complain about so many things, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of them too. What are some of the complaints I've heard? I don't want to mention mine so that you would say the same thing.
You don't have to. I have my own.
Yeah. What are some of the complaints you've been receiving?
So I'm going to keep referring to my book because this is the reason why I wrote it.
Okay.
In my book, I talk about this. And in it, I say, if you're a complainer, as opposed to somebody who's bringing a solution, stay home. We don't want you here, right? That's a little harsh, right?
Yeah.
It's a little harsh. But it's not for everybody. And it's not America. Ghana's only 60 years old, right? Ghana's still dealing with its own personal effects from colonialism. Ghana's still dealing with how the various tribes and ethnic groups in Ghana are merging their own cultures. Just look at the history of democracy in Ghana and politics. Like, it's very young. It's very young as a nation, as an independent nation. So when you look at it like that, I think Ghana's doing very well. Other African countries that are doing very well. That doesn't mean that it can't improve, but people have challenges because I'm going to put the ownership on people. Do your homework, do your research, buy this book, buy other books, and learn about the culture, learn about the way the country works, how things work. But you can't show up and expect it to be like America, and when it's not, complain. Now, that doesn't mean that, again, things can't improve. That doesn't mean that there are people who will get you, right? That doesn't mean that you sign a business deal and somebody takes your money and run. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you purchase a piece of land that hasn't been sold to 7 other people. But you got to know that that happens here, right? You know what I'm saying? As they say in Ghana, you have to be sharp, right? to get it. But, you know, there's some things that could change on both sides. I'm just really careful not to indict the whole country, right? Because when you do that, it's like, it's not everybody, but it happens the same way in America, right? Yeah. If you walking down the street and you get robbed, it might be a black person. I don't mean all black people bad.
I don't know whether you're sounding like a politician or a diplomat, something like that, diplomatic on this issue.
No,
but you know, I'm sure people will be saying, "Hey guys, say the problems that we have. Probably there could be some solutions."
There are. So, for example, customer service, right? But customer service comes with the idea that there are international standards, right? Customer service happens at the top and then comes down. People have to want to be educated on customer service, okay? That's the biggest thing in Ghana that people talk about is customer service. One of the reasons, again, why we put this book out is so that there is a guide, so that people can understand, people can have an understanding of how to function in Ghana, how to move around in Ghana. What are some of the things that you need to know? Don't get me started talking about driving, right?
Yeah.
There are some other things that I don't necessarily have all of the data and the information when you start talking about Doomso and you start talking about the power going out. Or, you know, Ghana has its own movement right now of young people who are saying that they want the government to fix the country,
yeah.
right? So there's a lot of things that can improve. But again, when you are the type of person who's focused on solutions, you acknowledge the challenges and then you work on providing the solutions that you can. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't point them out, but I'm just not that guy. Like, I'm just not that guy that's going to sit here and point out all of the things that's wrong so people can be happy that somebody said it, because trust me, I live here. I know what it is, right? But again, if I had to point out one thing, customer service, right? We could start with the Better Business Bureau of Ghana.
Well, I think you're making a very great point, because a lot of concerns have been shared, and as you said, the people have to find solutions. It's better to bring a solution than to discuss the problem, because it's not going to stop until there's a solution.
Exactly.
Yes. And now with Ghanaian passports, you know, Rita Mali got a passport. There was a whole lot of, publicity around it. Are people getting passports, those who intend to stay in Ghana?
So one of the misnomers of the year of return was that Ghana was that you automatically got citizenship, or that you were going to be able to receive a Ghanaian passport when you came for the year of return. Wrong. No country can do that, right? Every country has a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You got a constitution. I mean, it takes a minute. Now, the president has the ability to gift at will citizenship at any time through executive order, which is how the two groups of diaspora and Africans got their passports in Ghana. Once with the previous president in 2016, and with the incumbent president, His Excellency Nana Addo, in 2019. I think it was important for him to do that in 2019, which gave the year of return some meaning and feeling beyond the Akwaba. You are welcome, right? I didn't get my passport as a part of that process. I think I could have if I would have pushed and just kind of bumped. You know, at the time it just wasn't, you know, there are a lot of people who've been here in line longer than I have. So I just made a personal decision at that time that I wasn't going to, that if I did that, I could potentially bump somebody else out. So I didn't do it, and you know, but I believe personally that I'm gonna look in the camera when I say this, that if the country of Ghana feels that I'm valuable for the country and I bring something, everybody has my number. They have my number at the Flagstaff house. Somebody will call me and say, Diallo, come pick up your passport.
So are people in line waiting to get a passport, or what's it?
Well, it's not a process. So, I mean, people need to understand what the law says. They need to understand what the right of abode says. They need to understand what it takes to become a citizen of Ghana and any other country. You have to maintain legal residency for a certain number of years. Okay. I believe it's 5 years in Ghana, which means every year you got to renew your residency permit. Then after you renew your residency permit, you can apply for a passport of citizenship. That's just the way it is right now. Now, I do know that the country is working on something called the Homeland Return Act, where they are trying to figure out the best way to provide streamlined citizenship to members of the African diaspora who want citizenship, right? So the fact is that right now, Ghana, which is important for people to know, is that Ghana does not offer a streamlined way or path to citizenship, specifically for people of the African diaspora, because you're a descendant of Africa or a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. And for many people, that's what the year of return meant to them, but nobody ever said that, right? But it's easy, news headlines, you know how the media works. Somebody's going to publish something because you want readers to come. But when you do your research, that's just not the facts, and that's not how it exists right now. I mean, personally, I think that if African leaders were visionaries more than they are, and if they were bold enough, that the African Union, and this is a part of my personal mission in life, that the African Union, specifically in ECOWAS, starting with ECOWAS, and every other country would figure out a way to create a streamlined pathway to citizenship for people of the African diaspora, and really put some energy and effort towards looking at the African diaspora, specifically the African American population that has a $1.3 trillion annual spending, and look at them as aid, right? Look at them as foreign aid. Look at us as a way to develop the country, and put some things in place, man. You know what I'm saying? Provide some opportunities. So, you know, somebody making $150,000 a year in the U.S. could come here and live and do very well, investing in some small businesses, right? Investing in some larger businesses. You got tons of people. You have historically black colleges and universities. There's so many resources that could be available to African countries, right? By creating that pathway to citizenship, because nobody's going to come and just be here if they can't be a citizen and if they can't get the benefits of citizenship. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's a lot that can happen. That's why I'm here, to help make it happen.
Exactly. And that's why we have the book. And we have other tools that you're putting together. So what are some of the tools besides the book that you're putting together to help people who repatriate here or who have plans of getting citizenship or living in Ghana?
Well, I think the first start is educating people, right? And sometimes you got to spoon feed people, or as they say, every parent knows when your child is sick. Sometimes you can't just give them the medicine. You got to put the medicine in the applesauce. So part of what we're doing is slowly but surely. First thing we had to do was help people see that Africa is accessible, right? We had to shorten the distance. We had to move Africa from your bucket list to your to-do list, right? Because most people, if I happen to go to Africa one day in my life before I die, I'll go. That's your bucket list. As opposed to, I'm planning to go to Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, or South Africa next year, and I'm budgeting for it. So we've done that. It's on people's to-do list. Now what we have to do is educate people who are interested in moving, living, doing business, how that works. What do you do? And a part of the way that we do that is training, learnings, being able to collaborate and present viable, vetted opportunities for people who are interested in doing that. And I have a few projects that I'm working on in Ghana personally that I think will help people see that, some in agriculture, some in real estate, and some in, again, training and entrepreneurship.
And this for Ghanaians?
It can be for Ghanaians or anybody, honestly. It can be for Ghanaians and anybody. But one of the things that we are looking at doing is in bringing business owners and entrepreneurs to Ghana. We want to pre-match, pre-set up, and pair them with Ghanaian entrepreneurs, right?
Okay.
And we want to make sure that Ghanaian entrepreneurs and people who are prepared and ready can have some of those same opportunities to figure out how to collaborate. But don't get it twisted. Nobody should get it twisted. You got to go where the money is and bring the money, right? Because we could train a whole bunch of people in Ghana about what to do, how to do, but then what happens after you've gotten that training and then for the next 6 to 9 months? Look at all of the young people here who go through national service. What happens after they do a year of national service? Are there jobs available? Are there opportunities available for them to actually use what they learn? So then what happens? It sits, it rots, it gets stale.
Yeah.
Look at me and you. If you don't do this every day, if you and your team don't do this every day, work on the media, look at different ways to innovate what you do, how you do, what happens? GhanaWeb won't be number one. Why are you number one? Because every day you're working on it, right?
Yeah.
That's the same for everybody else. So we got to kind of look at it that way. Like, it really requires that work and it requires opportunity. So we're helping to bring some opportunity.
Exactly. We're helping to bring some opportunities, and we'll be back and talk about beyond the return. And we want to see what the Dinkra Group and Diallo, what you're doing with beyond the return as well. We'll be back. This is a lowdown. Welcome back to the lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. We are speaking with Diallo Sambri on a number of